This Aaron Rodgers to the Steelers and UFL playoff picks edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is brought to you by Edge Boost, the bank account built for better. Sign up today at edgeboost.bet with the promo code SGPN and get a free Refs Are Terrorists t-shirt. Claim your shirt at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/refs. We're also brought to you by Naira Bets. Get your $25 free bet for the Belmont by going to nyrabets.com/SGPN25, promo code SGPN25.
This is Coach June Jones, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
Fucking shine box.
Welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, stacking the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
Dog.
How blessed are we?
We are blessed.
So blessed on this day to have our hero bless us with news of his arrival.
Ryan, Aaron Rodgers to the Steelers. It seemed like a foregone conclusion, but now it is official. Is he eligible for comeback player of the year? Because our hero did go on an odyssey. There was a chance he might not be signed. He had some.
Has anyone ever won comeback player of the year after playing all 17 games the year before?
Well, I mean, who knows? The exact guidelines are overcome a health or other obstacle. And what bigger obstacle in Aaron Rodgers' career than Aaron Rodgers himself, as he's dealing with figuring it all out. Are you
kidding me? I listened to I want to say it was upwards of 3-hour Joe Rogan podcast. It seems like Aaron Rodgers has figured a lot out.
Yeah.
He's
got it
things.
all. He's actually figured everything out.
Not all things, but there's definitely some things he's got figured out.
Now, I said this in the office, and I think there's some truth to it.
Oh,
I said Joy Taylor got Aaron Rodgers to sign to the Steelers right now because, and this is, I think I'm onto something, because why was Aaron Rodgers waiting to officially sign? It seemed like everyone knew. Johnny Avello over at DraftKings said our numbers, our futures, all the look ahead lines, and the win total still 8.5 was factored in with Rodgers going to the Steelers. It seemed like it was a foregone conclusion. Why wasn't he at the first OTAs? Why hasn't he already signed? Well, now according to reports, he met with Mike Tomlin, and Tomlin was okay with this timeline, AKA Aaron Rodgers had other shit to do in the summer, and he didn't want the blowback that he got last year with the Jets for not attending, voluntary OTA. So in his mind, he thought, hey, I am going to not sign so that people can't give me shit for not being at OTAs. Meanwhile, Joy Taylor on Fox Sports, AKA, she had we rate the Joy Taylor based on, how low cut the sweater is. Spice rack put away.
It's not just about Joy. The spice rack applies to Paul Pierce and Michael Irvin.
They're very spicy.
Keyshawn's the only guy who's wearing appropriate things on television.
She had this whole rant. He's not showing up for OTAs. He's selfish. Meanwhile, he wasn't even signed with the team.
Yeah.
So I think in Aaron Rodgers' mind, he thought, hey, if I'm not signed, people won't give me shit for not being at voluntary OTAs. He was wrong, because he was still getting shit for not being at voluntary OTAs, even though he wasn't on the team. So now he just said, fuck it, I'll sign with the Steelers. That was my theory.
Well, I think a couple of things. One, if we had actually sat down to properly handicap the date, if it was a market, we would have very quickly found out that mandatory minicamps start June 10th.
Okay.
So the idea that he signed very soon before June 10th, probably always a possibility. This still feels early. I thought this was something that was going to be right before training camp. It is Aaron Rodgers. Like if there's, it's tough with the quarterback position, but I would assume he'd be able to figure out Arthur Smith's offense.
And it is funny. Today is officially, I think, the last voluntary OTA. So of course he signs right on that day.
Which, for the record, no problem with that. If a vet wants to sign. No voluntary stuff. I got some vacation plans. That's fine.
Yeah, it's not a huge deal.
The quarterback position, leadership position, maybe a little tougher.
Yeah, I think you want to get some chemistry in with your guys.
Quarterback is the main thing.
If you're a quarterback, especially, I think it's good. Like Jalen Hurts, voluntary OTAs, even though he's a Super Bowl MVP, he's there.
When I watched Strahan hold out until the season, like the week of the season.
Also, these guys are elite athletes.
Pass rusher, he was in shape. Everything was fine.
If they're really good, they're still going to be good. But Ryan, we always auto play these Steelers over 8.5 wins. It's a smash play. It's a system play. We and if there's anyone to break Mike Tomlin's streak of playoffs, winning seasons,
my God.
It might be Aaron Rodgers, unfortunately, because like the negativity that kind of surrounds him. That being said, I look at this team, I look at their schedule. It's going to get tough late, but I'm still going to be on the over 8.5. You like taking the Jets, Ryan, with the 3 points. The line is pretty much maybe it moved from 2.5 to 3. Steelers road favorites week 1. He gets the instant revenge. NFL tipping their hand. They knew he was going to get signed there. That's why they made it. Opening day week 1. Are you still?
Well, we were talking about this. A couple things. One, as far as a grade for the Joy Taylor take, which do we have any game show music? Grade the take, like instant, like this is like a draft grade. Instant.
Oh, I like this.
Instant grade.
Take idle.
All right, just instant reaction to the grade, a la a draft grade. Very excellent take.
Yeah.
So much so. Let's make sure we clip this and tag her. Maybe we redo one where you're thanking Joy Taylor.
Grade the take.
Thank you, Joy Taylor, for your I mean, if you're a Steelers fan, you're thanking Joy Taylor.
Yeah, well, and I'm glad I didn't I didn't actually bet the Will Howard Rookie of the Year. We were going out to Circa tomorrow night. I was definitely going to be eyeing it, and maybe I still will take a small sprinkle on it. But obviously, his path to starting is much longer.
Yeah, we were discussing this in the office. When's the last time we've had a double quarterback revenge spot? And then has it ever happened to open the season?
100% no on the first game, right? Like I cannot. I was trying to think. In my
you were
head.
right to call out Goff Stafford. It has to be where quarterbacks swapped places.
Yeah, Goff,
which is
Stafford.
most likely
did they play each other that year?
Straight up trade.
Yeah, which is rare. Like 2 starting quarterbacks getting traded is pretty rare. Now, I think maybe the Eagles Rams with
Bradford
and Foles. Maybe I'm trying to remember. And Scott Bowser, Steelers super fan, checking in saying real Steelers fans still hate him from that Super Bowl 15 years ago.
Wow.
I think the legacy of Aaron Rodgers is underperformance, right? Like assuming he doesn't win a Super Bowl with the Steelers, and anything's possible with that defense. But assuming he doesn't win another Super Bowl before he retires, I think we're going to look back and be like, man, he left some Super Bowls on the table. As crazy as that sounds, like that 1 seed that got knocked off by the Giants team, that was a really good regular season team. He's had a bunch of talent around him.
You especially because we were trying to figure out how, like, who was the other than maybe Drew Brees. Like, who was the quarterback in his time frame that you would say no, Drew Brees or Aaron Rodgers wasn't the dominant guy in his conference? Like there wasn't much. We were having a hard time coming up with a strong list outside of Drew Brees. So yeah, super disappointing. I mean, Eli Manning, 2 Super Bowls they played during the same time period. Eli beat him heads up on the way to one of those Super Bowls. By the way, Goff and Stafford did play each other year 1, but it was week 7.
Yeah. Okay. Cause that was the only one I could think of off the top of my head, but,
excellent double revenge spot to open the season. Excellent.
And Ryan, we were also pointing out Aaron Rodgers, the MVP to Super Bowl win disparity. It's going to be unmatched. 4 MVPs in my head. I forgot about the 2014 one. 4 MVPs, only 1 Super Bowl ring to compare to it. Now, I guess Lamar Jackson, who's won it twice, 0 Super Bowls, and they kind of are comparable. Josh Allen won 0 Super Bowls. Mahomes, multi-winner with 2, and then obviously he's won Super Bowls.
That's actually an interesting metric. You take the ratio of regular season MVPs to Super Bowl wins,
and then obviously the GOAT, Tom Brady, who 3 MVPs and obviously way more Super Bowls. And then Peyton Manning also more MVPs than Super Bowls. 3 MVPs, 2 Super Bowls. So
we call the stat Aaron. Just like they call Alex for the check down metric for a football out,
or maybe A-Rod because they like the ARO dude.
Oh, there you go.
Like and something rings over absent rings
over dominance.
Absent rings over dominance.
There
right?
you go.
There we go. You do A-Rod because it's absent
close.
Rings over dominance in the playoffs. It would have to be A-Rod.
So you go Super Bowls over MVPs. You just go absolute rings over dominance.
Okay.
Absolute rings over dominance.
Love it. Love making fun of
the big number is good. The small number is bad then.
Yeah. One out of 4. Not a good.
And if your number is not divisible because you have 0 over something, you're not even on the list. So it's perfect.
No, you aren't.
We've actually this is a metric. We might have to start publishing this metric.
We are an advanced stats organization. All right. We're going to talk UFL before we do. Of course, shout out to Edge Boost. It is the first bank ever bank account built for bettors, ensuring all gambling transactions are approved. No usage fees, no minimums, earn cashback rewards, 100% approval for all betting deposits. I'm going to load up a couple of Nevada apps, Ryan, because we're going to be at the circuit tomorrow using my Edge Boost card. So I get some nice cashback rewards, easy transactions. Don't have to worry about getting the card flagged. And if you sign up this week, you'll get a free Refs Are Terrorists t-shirt. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/refs to claim your free t-shirt. We're also brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Underdog Pick'em. Love the Pick'em. The extender has been going nuts. Love it. You start out game 1 in the NBA Finals, 40% profit boost, and then each game it goes up. So I am using my 40% profit boost tonight. If you're watching live or listening live, youtube.com/sports gambling podcast, smash the subscribe. Don't miss the notifications. Let's see here. Oh, I got a Gibby play. I got a different boost from Underdog. I got a lot cooking. I'm going higher. TJ McConnell, rebounds and assists. He's gone over this number 5.5, 12 and 4 to the higher. And then Jalen Williams lower, 22.5 points. Underdogfantasy.com, promo code SGPN. And last but not least, we just taped our Belmont preview. Super fun as always. Malcolm, the Wolf, and Barry Sniper Spears. And of course, get your $25 free Belmont bet, nyrabets.com/SGPN25. Get that sweet deposit bonus as well. $200 sign up bonus, nyrabets.com/SGPN25. Kramer, UFL playoffs. We're here. We're alive. Kind of middling year for the regular season. Our highlight though was 13-9 on our consensus plays. Joining us from the UFL Gambling Podcast, Colby Nant, aka Pick Dundee. What's happening, Colby?
Let's see. Colby is here. There he is.
What's up, guys? Yeah. What's up? The comeback player of the year thing though. Marcus Allen played in 16 games for the LA Raiders before going to remember he got in that argument, like him and Al Davis had some personal beef. So Davis traded for Eric Dickerson. So Marcus Allen played in 16 games, did not start the 16 games, even though he was clearly better than Eric Dickerson at that point in his career. Also, Jerome Bettis, 15 starts out of 16 with the St. Louis Rams before he jumped over to the Steelers or the LA Rams, whatever it was. And then touched 2-minute Tommy Kramer started 15 of 16. The next year started all 16, comeback player of the year, but he led the league in interceptions the year prior. So that was the logic on the comeback.
That was before they didn't vote a guy who died on the field and came back to life.
Chad Pennington and Joe Burrow, only 2-time winners of the comeback player of the MVP.
The Pennington one's great because the guy was out for, like he was eligible almost every other year because he would just get out for the year and then come back.
Joe Burrow winning it this year was like, yeah, I really hope I stop winning this award.
Yeah, you don't want to win. It's like most improved. It's probably not a great thing to be winning more than once.
Yeah, no, because obviously it means you fell off or you got injured or you got hurt.
Does Colby want to chime in on Aaron Rodgers?
It seemed like
I know
he's
a Jets fan.
I know he was really sad to see Aaron go. Didn't live up to his potential.
I haven't listened to the Rogan episode yet, so maybe should I hold my thoughts then? But
well, when you do, make sure you use regular. Don't use the AirPods while listening. It'll rot your brain, according to Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, is he still playing bitch ball? Yes, it's Aaron Rodgers. All right, look, have fun with that, Steelers. Pittsburgh, a blue collar city with a guy who's afraid to run for 1 yard. Have fun.
No, I forget Colby's still mad about. I was also mad at the time because I had money on the Packers with that conference championship where he had an open path. It wasn't even that he was like afraid to contact.
It a few times too.
Yeah.
He's done it. He doesn't want to play football. He just wants to play 2025 quarterback. All right, 2020's NFL quarterback where we don't play football. We're just we're designed to just drop back and we have to just play by a different set of rules.
I think if you're a Steelers fan, and I see some Steelers fans in the chat, so feel free to chime in. I think if you're a Steelers fan, you're like, do I love the idea of Aaron Rodgers being my quarterback? No, but we do have DK Metcalf now. We have Pat Freiermuth. We need someone to throw the football. Will Howard might be good, but he's a rookie. We want to win now. Like the problem is their defense is in a very much win now mode. Like, Minkah Fitzpatrick is getting super old. TJ Watt is awesome, but he's getting up there in age. He's had some injury issues, and you keep going 9-8 and get your ass kicked in the wild card, which is ironic that you bring in a guy like Aaron Rodgers who's had a bunch of wild card exits, but he's certainly better than. Would you rather have Kirk Cousins? Cause that's kind of your choice. Kirk Cousins, rookie Will Howard, or Aaron Rodgers.
That's
really fuck
really
Mary
tough.
Kill Colby.
It's like the trade from Russ and or Justin Fields to
that's the other thing.
Aaron Rodgers is probably a lot more lateral than.
I still say though the best play in the past 10 years of the National Football League is Aaron Rodgers tearing his ACL the first play the Jets season. Great moment as a Jet fan. I was fucking loving it because all the other Jet fans were so heartbroken, and I was like, "This is perfect, perfect." I hope it happens to his other leg, right?
Oh man,
well,
Colby is back.
And shout out to our good buddies at Underdog who may have jinxed it because they gave out a promo of Aaron Rodgers higher a half passing yard and he didn't get there. Oh my God. They're never gonna live that down.
Imagine cleaning out your entire customer base's promo parlays with
like basically they can't give you. It's like they call it a gimme, like it's as close to a free thing, and I'm sure it's some like regulation where they have to make it something. So they're like, "What's the easiest thing?" I mean, Ryan, if you're
it's like a gimme pick, right?
Yeah,
you have to make a selection, even though you're just gonna get to win.
Yes,
which they seem to have adjusted it where you can't lose it now.
Yeah. But and I don't know, it was probably something with the math or regulators because I do have a gimme pick for the NBA Finals.
Oh, nice.
Higher SGA points at 0.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think they figured out that,
but he could still get 0.
Yeah,
and I guess maybe it's a push
pushes
or
off,
lose.
which means you probably lose push.
Yeah. But what would the under a half passing yards pay for?
Like an
Aaron
alt
Rodgers.
number, in that game,
it'd have to be like 500 to 1. Right?
It's obviously astronomical. We've seen what happens when you do like the reverse correlation. Imagine suggesting a quarterback who's starting won't pass for a single yard. How often has that happened in 1,000 simulations?
It's crazy.
Maybe like 15, 20 injuries, right? How many times have the quarterbacks gotten hurt before they've been like after they've taken a snap, but before they've thrown for a single yard? That might be 2.
I don't even think 15.
2, maybe 2.
I think getting 1,000. You got to go more than that.
I mean, the way it happened too, him coming out with the American flag.
Fucking hilarious.
I mean, you couldn't write it. Dude. You couldn't write it any better. Like if you were coming up with a script, You just couldn't. You would.
I almost think it's funnier than the butt fumble.
Yeah.
Oh, 100% funnier than the butt
Yeah,
fumble.
butt fumble got a lot of mileage off the name.
Sanchez got them to the conference. I mean, they were good then.
Yeah, I mean, he had more success than Aaron Rodgers did. Like Aaron
He
Rodgers
had more success than any quarterback.
Zach Wilson won the same number of games as Rodgers in a Jets
don't
uniform the previous year. Colby, we've been having fun making fun of the UFL all season. We're going to continue that as we talk playoffs. But I do enjoy going behind the scenes and reading the UFL subreddit because the people there are just in such denial. One was like, I sent this to you, CJ and Kramer. The post is attendance that important? Yeah, you're trying to build the league. You want people to attend the live games. Now I've heard some people, and you know that obviously like money wise, gate attendance isn't that big, but for like building a fan base and an interest, I think it is. Now, if they can't build like organically a fan base for each city, which I think still is the best way to approach it. Maybe they do just play like week 1, we're at St. Louis, week 2, we're at some other city, week 3, kind of like a traveling band.
Well, they haven't even tried to go into the cities. That's the problem is like they're still at the hub in Arlington.
If I'm being honest, I don't think the issue, like they're trying to be clever and cute when all you have to do is pick locations that are relatively close to each other. And with the requirement that they all have a small-ish stadium.
Yeah, the stadium thing is the craziest.
Don't reduce your costs by weird travel gimmicks. Reduce your costs by not playing in major stadiums.
Play in those like nice Texas high school stadiums. Like
what they don't realize too is that's contagious. Like as someone that's been to ECU baseball games or Cameron Indoor Stadium, like. Cameron Indoor Stadium is one of the smallest stadiums in college hoops, and
it's better.
But you go because like it's almost like going to the club. It's like if you know a club that is small, but the DJ is going to have that place rocking.
Yeah,
you'd
comedy,
go to
music.
Yeah.
Also, like stop with this major cities that have other sports or other shit going on.
Yeah, you need to go to, and that's why St. Louis works. Because they have a bunch of football fans, and you're not competing with
St. Louis but like St. Louis would be fortunate. Seattle might fit that criteria, but I would tell you to go find football crazed college areas.
Yeah,
you can still find mini metropolis areas that just have people crazy about football with nothing to do because it's the fucking spring.
Well, I agree.
And just don't schedule against the spring.
I agree, but then why is no one showing up at Birmingham? Right?
You know why though?
Colby's theory is
they've had
right.
like 15 of these fucking teams that have gotten canceled. The Birmingham Iron, Birmingham Fire. They've burned it out. Where
Secondly,
it's like, why would they invest if they know it's going to be? If they know like after 4 weeks or 6 weeks it's gonna go, you
have you don't need to play a 10-week season. Drop it down a couple games, 4 home games.
We had 2 weeks of completely meaningless games.
You get 4 home games, which means
that's on them. Those would have been awesome games. That's on the league's fuck up.
Imagine this.
Yeah, because of the scheduling, because they're playing for playoffs. Also, I wouldn't mind if you make it an 8-week season and put all 8 teams into the playoffs. Top 2 gets buys.
No, I say,
I was
more games.
I was more going to the angle of like, if you start with 4 or even 5, all right, teams have to like just have the event be the game, like have the game be something at a football event, like have a family, lacrosse did a better job of this kind of way to draw people out, get them to the games, get them in the building. UFL has done everything wrong.
I was actually just looking at a flyer from the Cleveland Browns in the 70s.
Nice.
Right? And the Cleveland Browns had 10-cent beers at the fucking games.
I mean, that's
right. Like, why not do shit like that as opposed to like what they got rid of the beer snake for a few weeks? Remember last year? They're like, no, you guys are having too much
I know,
fun. You're
like
supposed to hate this shit.
there's like 3 fun things that the league had, like signature things. There's one thing the fans got together and decided to do, and they're like, no, we're not going to allow it. Like, what are you talking
So
about?
instead, and actually, let me just.
But now they are embracing. They feed the snake. They do have a bunch of rules.
Hold on, I'm gonna. Colby, I might need you to reshare your slides in a second, but
Sure.
I want to show you what they're spending their money on instead.
Okay.
They're spending their money doing these bullshit campaigns where they get people to write about how things are getting better.
Yeah.
Not true. This is nothing's building.
Well, I will.
They can't secure the stadium for the playoffs. What is this? What is Jared Kamiker talking about here?
Okay. Now we got a lot. There was a lot of Jake Bates bobblehead talk. Unfortunately, the Panthers couldn't get it done for Jake Bates and his bobblehead. We were tagged. A couple fans did get some bobbleheads. Feel free if you want to send one in. We're open to trades, but there are some Jake Bates bobbleheads listed on eBay. What do you? Now one price seems to be a bit off market. I see a gentleman.
It says it's rare.
Limited edition.
Oh, that's not the one.
Jake Bates bobble, $500 or best offer.
Really?
Then
I found one.
And maybe I don't understand the market, because there is a Jake Bates bobblehead that is $80 or best offer for watchers, which I mean, I guess maybe
People
you're
are
watching the
watching
market, the Jake Bates bobblehead market. Colby's off the screen, Kramer. I don't know what happened.
Oh, where'd he go? He's still here though.
Colby, are you there?
I think so. I'm not sure.
Okay.
But yeah,
There he
is. Look, trying to get ahead of the UFL before they sell it for $500 as a classic next year. Smart in my opinion.
Well, according to the guys in the UFL subreddit, all the old UFL merch still is really valuable, and the UFL should be selling it at a super high price.
Colby probably agrees with that.
Well, look, I told you I'm a big Fred Williams fan. Now, the fact that I can go to Shreveport, he can change my oil, and I can get his autograph at the same time.
Yeah,
it is a far drive to Shreveport.
You're not going to pay $300 for a game used ball of a league that doesn't exist anymore because it failed due to lack of popularity. What are we talking about?
So I was cruising around Reddit. I don't know, this is probably a month old, and then I made a note, completely forgot about my note, but it was a post in the Arlington Renegade subreddit. Similar to what you were discussing earlier, but it was a guy's essay on how it's clear the UFL doesn't care about attendance, and he's basically yelling at the fan base in this subreddit that we need to stop caring because they don't care. And it's this guy slowly coming to the conclusion that the league might not be behind the league.
He's right. I mean, but between never starting your best players, and then how about how many coaches? You know, Bob Stoops just was a no-show at the game this past weekend. So you've had like 7 different coaches just in the middle of the year be like, no, I'm okay. Yeah, Wade Phillips, Ken Wisenhunt twice, Greg Williams with the DC Defenders. Barlow quit the week before the season. AJ Smith, the offense coordinator of San Antonio, quit after week 2, I think it was. So you've had these guys weren't fired or anything. They just were like, you know what? I'm out.
Why I miss? Why didn't Bob Stoops show up?
He said it was like a leg injury, but I don't buy that shit. I think
a leg injury?
The week before he was caught on a mic saying to the ref, these fucking rules are terrible, right? Like he said something to that extent, like these rules are terrible. So I'm weary. On our show we were saying like he might be done. He might be done with the league because the way he was mic'd up the game prior, it seemed like he was pretty over the league.
All right. Speaking of the league, let's break it down. We got 2 games, 4 teams. Only one can be crowned UFL champ.
Sean, it's we have proper finals going on across all the major sports in the land with Champions League, the NBA, hockey / the NHL, and now it's conference finals week for the UFL.
College baseball, buddy. Don't shit on college baseball.
I totally forgot. It's still baseball. We're not really a baseball podcast. First up, we have the USFL Championship. What do we call? Is this still called the Freedom Cup, Colby?
No, the Freedom Cup died last. It's done. Freedom Cup is done. It's
so we're no longer giving out.
It's now the shit pie.
Okay, so the USFL conference.
That is a huge step down.
Championship game, aka the shit pie. Birmingham laying 1.5 points. Over under 46.5. The game's being played in Birmingham, which of course we knew 3 weeks ago when we found out that the
scheduling staff,
the Dome, possibly chose to not do business with the Michigan Panthers, from what we can tell.
Even a comedy club, they have a drink minimum. If you're Ford Field and you're only selling 12 Budweisers in a football game,
you're not doing business with that.
you might have some issues.
Colby, Birmingham looked good last year. What are we doing? Or last week? What are we doing in this game?
Well, Birmingham. They played their starters because Skip's smart because they have played 5 different quarterbacks this year, so might as well get the reps in to get the offense and everything. But the big question here in this game, in particular, I would say, would be if Bryce Perkins plays. He's missed 3 straight games. They said it was a leg injury, which I kind of think was fake. But they
a lot of fake injuries in the US.
Well, there's fake games, there's fake games, fake injuries, fake news everywhere.
How can you trust Bryce Perkins to play? I get it. There's no news. There's no injury reporting, so it's a total guess. But I think if he was close, wouldn't they have played him a little bit to shake some rust off?
You can't say that. You can't make any assumptions in this.
That is true.
Well, and another thing is Danny Etling looked good 2 of those 3 weeks. Not last week.
He looked horrible last week. Yeah.
Yeah. Last week he didn't, but Mike Nolan, knowing him, he's probably like, hey, that's my type of quarterback. Now the Stallions did lose their starting safety for the season last week. So playing your starters did have some there was a price to pay for that, but Jamar Smith looks better and better every week.
Cam Newton, Colby, come on! It's the greatest nickname.
It's been 5 weeks since he's gotten 5 weeks away from his time at Dunkin' Donuts. So
wow.
I'm saying he's gonna take him to the promised land. Look, Birmingham has these coaches are mic'd up. You hear every other fucking coach, Curtis Johnson, Mike Nolan, 80% of the league. I feel like they're just there. Like Wade Phillips was like, I don't even feel like they're coaching. Skip Holtz after each possession and shit. When you hear him mic'd up, he's like, no, you got to cut inside there. You misread that. He's the only guy that coaches in this fucking league. I'll take Birmingham. Shout
out to UFL Player of the Week, Tay Kraft, former Giant, also former Mr. Irrelevant, Sean, in the NFL. Tay Crowder, 2 pick sixes last week. Had a pretty good week.
That was fun.
How do you not take the Stallions? They've completely eaten, as Colby would say, eaten the Michigan Panthers' ass for lunch.
Panthers have never beat them, right, Colby?
Yeah, they've never. They have to go back to '83, but in the Skip Holtz era,
it's only 1.5 points.
Yeah, I know that's the only thing that's. And now maybe
fuck it, the big bet at the Circa, paper ticket load.
Yeah,
I think you gotta take the money line.
They've ate their ass for lunch, and then
big time ass eating,
which is a perfect thing for a shit pie championship.
I did enjoy.
Well done, Colby.
One of the pick sixes, and I'm not fading Ham Newton. I'm not fading.
Oh, okay.
No. On the pick six where he did the he like faked the pitch and kept running. It made UFL made the top 10 of Sports Center. So shout out to you, UFL. And you can't take now. Maybe Bryce Perkins comes back from the dead and balls out, but I'll still take Birmingham at home. To Colby's point, like they seem like the only team that really cares about the games and has a coach that's seriously invested. So we had Birmingham as one of our futures. They weren't as dominant as years previous, but I think they're going to be in the championship and like their chances once again.
Honestly, it's probably the best thing the league does is have these coach mic'd up where like Stoops doesn't know the rules. Curtis Johnson is like, who put that guy on the field? You're the head coach, dude. Like who called that? right?
It's almost mean that they're making them have to put their dirty laundry out there. They're obviously not the top of the barrel coaches, and that's the real thing we've learned. There's not. I mean, they must not be paying shit because, to Colby's point, the amount of coaches that just
what kind of PTO do these coaches have? They're taking it's a 10-week season. They take 3 weeks off. What kind of union? They must have paid him up front. The check cleared. Stoops is like, fuck.
20% of the league is like Skip Holtz and Mike Nolan. I think maybe the only coaches that haven't missed time.
Maybe that
is hilarious.
But is it possible they got bigger deals because they were?
No,
I have no idea. But I've watched a lot of spring football leagues. I've never seen it where like the whole staff just at different points. You know what? I'm out.
It's not just I'm out. I'm out to go to an FCS program. No disrespect, but I mean, Jesus.
Don't get Colby fired up, Kramer.
They were offering like 17 times more the money that he was making, but yeah, I get your point, but I mean, some of them like Ken Wisenhunt was just like, I got a family matter. I'm gonna miss week 1, and then he comes back for week 2, and they were terrible. He's like, you know what? I think I quit. Right? the family matter's back.
Yeah.
My family watched the league, and the matter is they're embarrassed by my job. So yeah, I'm gonna quit.
Oh shit! All right. Yeah. So I guess we're all in Birmingham.
Smash it, baby.
As the league, well, also
as the league burns,
as the league would like, we are on the team that they are. I mean, this is obviously their championship they want. Obviously, is Birmingham. That's why they stopped calling the stadium for the Panthers. They're like, fuck it, they don't need a home game in the playoffs.
No, come on.
So we're just gonna ride with the league. What are the chances? The serious question: are we talking about the UFL in 2026
because we cancel it, or because it doesn't exist?
Well,
both are on the table.
Well, isn't the rumor now Tom Brady's going to buy the Oakland Invaders or something? But here's
will
the
it
thing.
exist? Will it exist?
I didn't know they were for sale. These teams are for sale.
Who's the Oakland Invaders?
It's an old school.
Arena.
Here you go. No, it's an old school USFL team. There you go.
Oh,
right.
So that's cool. They could use a team. They had the A's, but they didn't support them. They left.
Well, the Kelseys are probably bringing attention to the fact that you can, for very little money, through your brand corporation, buy a football team.
Well, just like The Rock, he bought the league and he promotes the hell out of it, and really has grown.
Just loves it.
Still hasn't been able to catch a flight out of Hawaii.
Still has not attended a game.
I don't understand. He's living in his bunk. So
I mean, I wouldn't, if I was The Rock, I'd stay in Hawaii, but why buy this league if you're not going to at least promote it on Instagram?
When did those fires happen? Maybe he didn't get that information until, and then he was like, well, shit, I got to go to my bunker in Hawaii now. They burned all this land for me. Roxon, I mean, unfortunately, when the Epstein list comes out, I fear that we will have some heroes on the list.
Really?
The Rock may be one of them.
Ryan, you know my hero is Circa, and Derek Stevens built a great property there. Ooh. And you can win 2-night stay for you and 11 of your friends, $5,000 bar tab over at Stadium Swim. I mean, that goes the 5K. That's going to be a hell of a draft party. Of course, you can always get your own party going. Promo code SGP15 to any of the Circa properties. But why pay for it when you got a chance to win for free? So you and 11 of your league mates get in. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/CIRCA. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/CIRCA. We're going to be out there tomorrow night for our live VSiN show. Come say hi. Was texting with a listener. Might swing by. We're always down.
Spicy.
Grab some drinks, hang out. Great place to party, hang out, and obviously have your fantasy football draft. But you can have it for free if you win the contest. And of course, shout out to Rhythm. Rhythm just introduced their power trends. They've been dominating. I've been doing very good with my underdog pickup because I've been leaning on Rhythm and their player prop models for the power trends. Let's see, Ryan, can you handle a power trend? Oh, well, this is, again, I like it and Rhythm likes it as well. I gave out the higher for TJ McConnell rebounds and assists, and Rhythm likes just TJ McConnell over 3.5 assists plus 106. They think this is a very good bet. The model has it winning 62% of the time. Get this pick and all your free picks. Build your own models. Get a 7-day free trial. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. Last but not least, mybookie.ag, your place to get down on every sport, including the NBA Finals, Stanley Cup, UFL, whatever you're betting on, you can bet on it over on MyBookie and get a 100% match up to $1,000. Rollover does apply. MyBookie.ag, promo code SGPN.
All right. Now for the who can forget the XFL? The Rock bought the XFL, right? Correct.
No, UFL.
Did he not?
No. They bought the XFL and then they merged with the USFL. So
big time dismiss. That was very quickly dismissed.
Maybe that's it. Maybe he doesn't really have any power anymore. Maybe Fox just owns the whole thing.
Yeah. Well, there's some hedge funds involved. So to your point, Colby,
Redbird Capital.
Yeah. Anytime
say their name.
Anytime a hedge fund gets involved, who owns it and what they own is it's a slippery question. So to Colby's point, maybe he's getting boxed out. I still don't understand why you wouldn't want to, like, you're helping your investment by promoting it. So there must be something going on here.
You would think, right?
You would.
It was with his ex-wife too, so you never know.
Well, now he uncovered it.
Wait a
the
second.
wife got the take in the UFL. And or what better way? Oh, it was probably the wife's idea. And what better way to sink it?
Posting.
Oh, I'm not gonna. Oh, you want that money from the army for the Instagram post? Fucking kiss my Samoan ass. Yeah,
and she's the face of the league. And let's
come on,
that's why
this is what it is.
Oh.
This is what it is. He doesn't want us to succeed because his ex-wife is in charge of it. Why did it take us this long?
Look, I love my wife, but if I gave her the league, I don't think it would be very. It would probably they would miss the scheduling conflicts there at Ford Field and the Alamo
Colby,
Dome,
don't let your Kramer. Don't let Colby's wife see this clip. Wait,
are you suggesting that
you don't think your wife could run the UFL, Colby? I think your wife could.
Well, if she asked me, but once again, it's his ex-wife. It's his ex-wife, so she's not picking up that call.
It's acrimonious. If God forbid, Colby, you got divorced, you wouldn't be trying to help your wife's business succeed. That would be crazy.
Yeah. If anything, the flight can't leave. The pilot, we're having problems over the Pacific, right?
Oh man. All right. Getting back to the beautiful game. The beautiful league, the XFL. I noticed you didn't put the conference at the top of this slide, Colby. I would never be critical of the artist, but the artist maybe forgot the XFL conference championship.
Those cheesy ass franchise, cheesy names.
He doesn't observe. He doesn't observe.
I thought we liked DC because they had a football team. They have the beer snake.
He has so many inside jokes with himself.
Yeah,
like he's like, look, oh yeah.
You think I'm like the beer snake, but they own the Washington Federals, the Feds, and they trot out this bullshit, which is a rip on DC Shoes, by the way. If you know DC Shoes, go look up the DC Shoes logo. It's
what?
The DC Shoes, like skate company.
You think this is they ripped it off in term like intentionally copied it?
I'm saying like if you put that on a fucking jacket or shirt, people are gonna think that's DC Shoes.
It's kind of a hot accusation, huh?
Yeah, well, that's classic XFL shit. They have phoned it in on the names.
Okay,
phoned it in on the Battlehawks. I mean, what a terrible fucking name, right? And so they don't deserve me to care.
Sean,
I like the Battlehawks logo. I don't know what Colby doesn't like about it.
It's kind of old school looking.
Yeah,
right?
It's got a sweet
the
sword.
Retro. This is not their actual.
Oh, okay.
So Colby made a good one.
All right. Wait, retro? What do you mean? Like dating back to 2 years ago?
The 2020 season with Vince McMahon. Look, say what you want about Vince McMahon, but the league was better with Vince McMahon. You need a ruthless asshole up on top for the league to be good.
Well, you don't want that asshole on top of you.
That is a disgusting act.
Yeah, well, maybe if you cash out, but there's some rumors of what that ruthless asshole has done to some people.
got my pizza peel.
They still made 7 figures off it. So what?
He lost everything because he liked to shit on people.
Allegedly.
No, he's fine. He's got a bunch of money.
He's fine.
He's got a bunch of money.
All right.
He's landing on his feet.
He gave ECU $8 million recently.
All right. Stop. No more joshing around. We have a serious game to talk about. The XFL Conference Championship between the DC Defenders and the St. Louis Battlehawks. Battlehawks laying 2.5 at home. Wow. Good on St. Louis for getting the home field here. Probably important for them as they have been a much better team at home. -145 on the money line. DC +125. 46.5 is the total. This one's at 3:00, as it was destined to be. St. Louis playing a home game in the playoffs.
Get on it. This is so okay. We know this league sucks, right? They fuck up everything they can. They have done everything. They gave St. Louis more home games than every other team in the league. They have put the championship back there. They were guaranteed a home playoff game when they were 1 game behind in the playoff race. They've done everything, but they tried to do this last year. And the only problem is St. Louis got upset, right? This is going to be so hilarious when DC wins this fucking game, right? DC is going to go in there and look, I'm sure they're going to try to finagle everything. All right. They speed up the replay in one of those fucking games 2 weeks ago, right? They're going to try. But you can only do so much in the game of football. DC beats them and ruins this fucking championship. No one's going to go to the championship because no one's going to give a shit because the Battlehawks aren't playing. The same thing happened last year. It's going to be hilarious.
I like Colby's thought. I like where his head's at. I like his narrative wise. I appreciate it. But St. Louis is in the dome. You always bet on St. Louis in the dome.
Beat them there, right?
What's up?
DC beat them earlier this year there when they were beginning of the season, right?
Oh, fair point.
What was that? Week 1?
It's a big rear view.
Week 3, I think, maybe, or 4.
Big rear view reaction here.
Yeah, I mean, but for the most part, and you're right, good revenge opportunity for the Battlehawks. They were laying 6.5. This is a different Battlehawks team, Colby. I'm just telling you,
Great pivot.
St. Louis
Elite
pivot.
They just played last week, Sean. They got their revenge.
Well, this is a double revenge. No, they didn't. Well, come on, Colby.
Slippery when wet, Colby.
Double revenge. Is that a Van Damme movie?
Yes. No, they got revenge. Yes, last week, but they need.
Maybe it was Seagal. I can't remember if it was
they
Seagal
still.
or Van Damme.
Well, and were they in the dome? No, they were in DC, where it was an actual home game for DC, and you talked me into taking DC, and they lost.
They should have. The damn kicker can make field goals.
Yeah, well, that's part of the fucking problem. St. Louis, you always take St. Louis at home in the dome. It's something I picked up here, and it's been dominant.
Not last year. They were trying to get them there last year, and it failed.
Take it on the money line.
Oh,
the league would profit too much, Sean, if St. Louis wins and goes and hosts the championship game. Think about this league. Think about this league.
They're gonna get a super challenge to go their way. This is David Stern's UFL, Colby. You got to play the conspiracy that St. Louis is gonna get in there.
Look, I believe they're trying to do. They've already tried to do everything.
Yeah,
it's not an honest product when you've played more home games than every other team, right?
All around. Rue says every time Colby faded the Battlehawks, he lost. Just so you know. And
of course I did, because the league. Those are fake games. I talked about that earlier. They're fake games.
So what? They're going to make them real games this week? Of course not.
This might be a fake game. So let's find out.
I'm going to do some fact checking on all around Rue. Week 10, Colby faded the Battlehawks. They won. Week 9.
I had no fucking real handicap. No one's playing in that game.
Oh.
Week 9, you did.
Ridiculous.
Week 9. Before you yell, Week 9, you had the Battlehawks and they covered. So you're 1-1 on the Battlehawks. Week 8, you took Birmingham and they won. So now Colby, you're 2-1 on. No, you're 1-1 on times you faded them. St. Louis, you took Memphis in week 7. That didn't work out. So now you're 2-2 fading the Battlehawks. You faded them in week 6. You have faded them a lot. You lost in week 6.
I mean, come on. I mean, like they have been
what?
Faded them in week 5. They won.
Well, on our show, are you caveating that this
you're
is
right.
on our show?
No.
Faded them in week 4. They won.
You know why? You guys know why?
Why?
Come on, they're a dome team, little bitch ball.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
wow.
Like,
See,
how
this
do we
is-
not
you
see
have
this
to-
coming?
Kramer, you have to take the Battlehawks.
Yeah.
Okay, obviously.
No, they screwed up last year. This is a ruse of a league. If we were betting money, I would bet that it's not that they will. Here's my prediction. Next year, we have optimism, and then one of those, maybe it's J Mark or Colby or CJ or one of those other spring football blogs is going to break news about some contract not being renewed. Like it won't be a player or a coach. It will be some sort of service, media rights, the stadium. Again, you've already seen my reporting on the San Antonio stadium. They don't have a place to play next year. I wonder if we find out a couple more teams don't have a place to play next year. And then by the time it's time for kickoff, we just don't have a league anymore. That's my prediction. This is going to be the last ever conference final picks episode for the UFL.
This is the last shit pie championship right here.
Well, they can't both be shit by championships. What's this one?
Yeah. This one is the what's another term we use here?
Honestly, you should have called the Vince McMahon one the shit pie. That would have made more sense.
Yeah. I guess I didn't have the foresight there, but this will be the I don't know. Don't think about this one too much.
Okay,
it's going to be great when the league did everything to help St. Louis and they botched this. I can't wait. I can't wait.
Well, that's why you got to bet on St. Louis because it's win-win. Either you win your money or you win the demise of the UFL. It seems to kind of be obvious, Kramer.
Or you win the demise of the UFL.
Did you guys hear about these 14 million bees that escaped this truck in Boston?
I did see that. Yeah, they said stay away from the bees.
How the hell do they know it's 14 million? That's what
they counted to the very bee.
This was the same.
You've heard of bean counters. There's bee counters.
This was the same argument Colby had when they lost the monkeys. He's like, how do you know how many monkeys there are?
Well, monkeys.
Bees are even because they originally reported I think 26 million bees and now it's down to 14. So they miscounted by 12 million bees or something. So it's very intriguing to me.
Not very reliable.
How you could be that far off on bees, but watch out, they're out there.
Where are they loose? So people
the
can
state of Washington. The Coug might have a tough day coming up soon.
Well, and you can, even if you're not allergic, if you get stung by like a shit ton of bees, you can just die.
What kind of bees are these?
None of your beeswax.
Yeah. What can you research that? What type of bees? Yellow jackets? What are we working with here?
Looks like honeybees.
Okay, that's not
semi truck hauling 70,000 pounds of active honeybee hives rolled over before sunrise. Within hours, millions of bees were in the air, forming dense clouds around the wreck.
Imagine being that paramedic.
They first reported that 250 million bees had escaped. That number was later walked back to a more accurate but still staggering 14 million.
It was something crazy. How are you that far off?
A warning posted to Facebook advised people to keep at least 200 yards from the bees. Oh, this is crazy. Now, by 9 a.m., emergency crews and more than 24 beekeepers were working to recover the hive boxes and stabilize the site. The goal is to save as many bees as possible, the sheriff's office said. The plan is to allow the bees to rehive and find their queen bee. That should occur within the next 24 to 48 hours. So that's crazy. Yeah, you just like shut down a piece of highway so the bees can get their shit together.
You think paramedics got it bad with like drunken people? How about that? You show up and you just fucking bees everywhere, pissed off bees, man. That'd be terrible.
Yeah, I mean, at least they're honeybees. They're less likely to be super aggressive. They might be a little pissed off though.
Kramer locking the dog. What do you got?
What do you mean? Just one?
Yeah.
Don't we normally do 3 locks in a dog?
Sure. Do 3 locks in a dog.
Lock number 1, Birmingham.
Okay.
Lock number 2, St. Louis. Lock number 3, under 46 in the Birmingham Panthers game.
Okay.
Then for my dog, we're going to parlay Birmingham and St. Louis to win on the money line.
Oh, okay. It's a good St. Louis Birmingham money line parlay. Yeah, because you don't want any of these little focaccia. There's always the 3-point plays.
For what?
Focaccia.
Cocksha?
Yeah, I don't know. Fake focaccia.
You're saying it's a strong.
This is a fake league. We got fake games.
So
why
I'm
not add another fake thing in there?
Focaccia. Got it.
I will take Birmingham as my first lock, laying the 1.5. For my other lock, St. Louis -2.5. For my other lock, third lock.
Wow, so many locks, Sean. There's only 2 games.
Wait, did you take the under 46.5 in the Birmingham game?
Yeah, easy money.
They both have the same total. These dome games, it's going to be ratings bonanza. Give me
over in the other game if you're asking for my opinion.
Okay, so that's just an opinion. All right, let me write down.
It's a strong opinion.
Yeah,
extremely.
I
strong
will lock
opinion.
up the over 46.5 in the Battlehawks game. Colby, what do you got here? 3 locks and a dog.
Seems we share an opinion.
Sorry, I was just reading some content here.
What do you got over there?
What is that?
Just, yeah.
Oh,
touchdown pass.
Colby, we
Touchdown
have
pass?
to.
Is that a kid's book?
We have to teach Colby how to mirror his
Look
video.
at this table of contents.
What a,
This table of
it's a
contents
lot to
here.
write about a touchdown pass.
Yeah, I mean you're.
It is one of the most famous Claire B, one of the most famous athletes in American college history, and later a winning coach, has drawn upon his experience of 2 of the most unforgettable characters in sports: Chip Hilton, the hero, and Hank Rockwell, the understanding coach. Check out touchdown pass out there, kids.
Maybe Colby's gonna do a book.
Is that the one they? It's supposed to be modeled after Harbaugh and Colin Kaepernick.
We're locking up the Stallions, lock 1, DC lock 2, and I'm also going to take the under 46.5 in DC in these Battlebirds. Yeah,
really?
You're taking the under, so you're going against me.
Oh yeah.
Oh, but you think DC's gonna win.
Colby's going
What's
against
your
my
coach? You can't call the coach a bellboy. He wants a championship.
Doorman. He's right.
Colby's going against my strong opinion, and your lock.
Colby, what's your dog? Is it just DC money line?
Yeah, DC money line parlayed with Birmingham. Also, while I have the microphone,
cut his microphone.
CFL gambling podcast.
No,
CFL
bleep this
kicks
out
off tonight. Real kickoff.
Bleep it.
Tonight.
Bleep it.
Check it out. Let's go.
I did have 2 people ask me what Colby said. That
because we actually did bleep out the
on the
audio
on the podcast feed. It was bleeped out.
Make sure you bleep this out again, Ryan. And they'll have to watch YouTube live to figure out what Colby's trying to plug.
CFL.
All right, bleep all that.
It's gonna sound
This
so
is like
funny.
storming the field. This is like a fan storming the field.
Now, Colby, give out the real plug. People want to know the college football experience team previews.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the UFL gambling podcast.
No one cares about that.
We're breaking down 136 college football teams, and we've covered all 9 CFL teams. Check out the CFL gambling podcast, college football experience. Let's go.
No. Colby, you should. I'm very good at bleeping out. Don't worry.
Okay.
Colby, you should create a slide promoting your team previews.
CFL. Yeah.
This is gonna sound so funny. Colby's just getting constantly beeped.
All right, good times. And we will be back, Ryan, on air. VSiN tomorrow night, 11:00 Pacific, live from the Circa in Las Vegas. CJ Sullivan in studio.
Oh, boy.
Man in the Box is out there in Vegas. Going to be a grand old time there. And make sure you check out our Belmont podcast. That was a lot of fun. The NBA Finals, Stanley Cup pod as well. And of course, as always,
thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
For the Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, second the money green. He's Ryan.
The man in the box will be in the box.
Kramer, let it ride.